So next up we have 8-Bit Hypocrite's Library of Ruina. Sorry, Ruina. I've been corrected about that. I don't want to make that mistake more than I already definitely know I will. Lobotomy Corporation to SCP Boogaloo. I have started playing Limbus Company and have seen their previous video on Lobotomy Corporation. So I know what we're getting into here is going to be, one, really well done, and I haven't subscribed to them yet. I need to fix that. Okay, that's done. Going to leave a like in advance because it's probably going to be awesome. And two, not shy away from covering some of the really screwed up things that Project Moon, the people who make this entire franchise, are really good at making really 22, 33. What are we looking at? Are these YouTube statistics?
Okay.
Damn! How many days was that? 66 days, 27,000 views? Yeah, that makes sense. And it was a good video too, makes sense.
Okay. Jesus, people, it's a long game. What do you think that I've been doing?
True, sir. What have you been doing? Why are you not devoting yourself completely to making internet content? For shame. And I, as someone who definitely has never slacked off ever, just waiting for the inevitable laughing to stop, have never in any way, shape, or form said that that is not the case. I would definitely do as well.
I have a real job too, you know.
Kettle.
I'm a busy fucking guy, but whatever, fine. You win. I'll play Library of Ruina, but there is no way that it will ever live up to Lobotomy Corporation.
Wait for it.
Oh, holy shit.
Really?
Welcome to Library of Ruina, the sequel
Also, apparently, she can get a haircut.
to popular SCP-themed game Lobotomy Corporation, which I also made a video about, and you should probably check it out first so that
I saw it. It's good. Eventually be up on YouTube.
you can get more of my callback jokes. While Lobotomy is a management simulator with a background plot,
And the background plot is a lot. SCP fans, when you tell them typing redacted 57 times isn't interesting storytelling. See, this is a complete and utter lie. It would never be just 57 times.
a library is a story-driven turn-based card battler. Yeah, so it's a bit
Card battler. I've had people explain that the way this works is similar to the focus battles in Limbus Company, but I haven't actually played it yet, so I don't actually know.
different. While that's certainly a huge
Oh, yeah,
departure from its
cards.
predecessor, I actually enjoy Library of Ruina a lot more. Perhaps it's simply because I like card battlers, or perhaps because they made HOD so...
I'm HODs in this? Also, what was that over there?
Perhaps it's simply because I like...
Slay the Spire. 417 hours? I haven't played Slay the Spire. It's been on sale, so it'd be super cheap and I could do it. I just never got around to it. But holy shit, man.
like card battlers, or perhaps because they made HOD so fucking cute. But the general consensus
she
towards this
died.
game is very positive. This might be a longer
I
video
thought
because
everyone
there's
died.
a lot to talk about, so I should probably hurry the fuck up. Also, since this game focuses a lot on story, I'll be introducing some plot lines, but I'll do my best to avoid any big spoilers.
Oh.
Alright, let's go.
Also, yeah, I see already just with that freaking line alone how this is so similar to Limbus in style. Dice instead of coin? Yeah.
This is Roland, essentially the main character of the story you witnessed during Library of Ruina.
Really?
Unlike in Lobotomy Corporation, where you literally played as a site director, in Library you're more of a spectator to this man's story.
Oh.
Roland is a simple grade 9 fixer, essentially a very low-level mercenary.
I only know about fixers, again, from Limbus Company, where they had an entire section about, hey, these are only grade 8, which means they're slightly above useless. So this guy's even lower level, so he's the equivalent of not even having a red shirt. And if I need to explain that, don't make me explain red shirting. I don't want to acknowledge that might actually be an old reference no one gets at this point.
Mercenary in the city, until one day he mysteriously finds himself in the library and meets Angela, who kindly kills him. Luckily, the power of knowledge revives him, and he begins to work for his new librarian, Queen.
This seems awfully familiar. I have a feeling before I finish this video, I'm going to stop, pause, and just get the game.
Queen, where he meets and is assisted by a variety of very hot librarians.
Who are definitely still alive and have bodies, right? Or did she actually find a way to re-embody them?
Wait, that sounds pretty familiar. Also, everyone is even hotter than the last game somehow.
Oh, goddamn, yeah, she is.
It's honestly incredible. The library is an anomaly itself, basically a pocket dimension that can... It's honestly incredible. The library is an anomaly itself, basically a pocket...
Yeah, no, they are hotter. And that is a trend that has continued in the Limbus Company, because I have seen some of the art, like for a certain gangster Ishmael. Just throwing it out there. God damn, they got away with that.
Dimension that can only be reached through mysterious invitations that magically arrive to people. However, Roland's never received one, and it's unclear just how he reached the library in the first place. But regardless, Angela puts him to work receiving guests.
Usually golden light is a very specific thing. Wonder if it's actually related to the bows or bows.
The books in this library are special. Every book is a person. Literally. When a guest dies in the library, they become a book, and their life story, dreams, fighting style, even their clothing is transcribed onto the pages. With enough books, you can also do, well, whatever you want, actually.
Because she wanted to create a library at the end of the last one to become a perfect person. And this guy died in here, so she probably has his book.
The most popular uses are as follows. Read the secrets of your friends, find out how the world began, make a massive cityscape that stretches to infinity, copy your opponent's moves with almost perfect mimicry, harness demons to make a nice cup of coffee.
So that's how Starbucks does it. I was wondering about that.
Become human to think and gain your own feelings.
Did they really just write Detroit Become Human? Oh, wait, so is this Angela's short hair not because... Oh, did she actually turn herself human? I thought that was an ending goal, not where she might have already succeeded.
Transform people to horribly warp their body.
I mean, that's basically Limbus Company and Lobotomy Corporation already, so nothing changed there.
Some wings and fly around with fire spears to impale all your enemies and slowly go insane as you realize that you're trapped here forever and you can never truly escape, and that you've doubted yourself your entire life and that your life is potentially meaningless because you only get your teammates killed.
Yeah, but also considering what the city outside this place looks like, being trapped here infinitely is still counting as a good option.
Basically, you can do anything with the books in the library because they're infinitely powerful if you have the right combination of words. And holy shit, this game is beautiful. What an art style. I love it.
Yeah?
So what is the goal of the library? Well, Angela is trying to create the perfect book. Basically, by amassing...
And the end of the perfect one, she said she wanted to be the perfect person and create a library to do that, so perfect book is perfect her.
Books with more powerful words, she's going to assemble a book that allows her and the librarians to leave because they're trapped here.
I wonder if she came up with a bunch of perfect books that just happened to correlate to people's stories or something. Maybe like 12 of them about people who really committed some horrible sins. Nah, it's probably too on the nose.
This will slowly happen over time as more people get invited to the library and are killed. Interestingly, whenever an invitation is received, the librarians get a flash of what's happening outside of the library, which introduces all kinds of lovely characters, from backstreet fixers and desperate thieves all the way to powerful enemies like the Town of Love and the insane members of the Blue Reverberation.
What the fuck? Okay, so we got people with metal heads and looks like glowing bodies with metal heads, and what the actual library director Angela? I'm Angela. Yeah. What was love townsperson Tom Mary? Oh, Tom and Mary. According to Aaron and Dare and Mertzcat and a lot of other people, or Mr. Katz, we don't talk about the Town of Love. I'm okay with this.
Insane
Let's
members
move
of
on.
the Blue Reverberation. There are a lot of factions and storylines to keep track
Oh,
of
boy.
in this game, and watching the web unfold as connections are made is really interesting, especially since there's a lot of mystery built up. Why are the librarians back from Lobotomy Corporation? Why exactly does Angela want to leave the library? What's the connection to Lobotomy Corporation and the other companies in this game?
I'm assuming one of them is literally Angela, so she has the best information about these people, so she could probably make the books on them. Or had their corpses and just said, this is what happened, but I don't know. It's only a guess. I'm assuming it will be answered later.
And maybe the biggest question, why does Roland seem to know everything about everyone, even the legendary fighters in the city,
What?
if he's just a lowly grade 9 fixer? The dialogue in this game is really good too. It actually
Is he a reincarnation of a certain asshole? Nah, that'd be way too on the nose.
feels like humans talking in this fucked up world that they live in. And the best part, unlike Lobotomy Corporation, Library has voice acting.
Oh! I'm assuming not English, though.
안녕, 난 롤랑이야.
Wait, Yesod? Oh, it's one of the other people. Yeah.
엔젤라의 시종이지.
기술과학의 층을 담당하게 된 지정사서 예소드입니다.
엔젤라와는 다른 차가운 시선이 느껴지는 건 착각이고. 뭐야? 설마 너도 듣기 싫은 말 들으면 폭력으로 해결하는 타입이야?
He's fixing the tie. Still just in Korean?
넥타이가
Yeah.
풀어졌군요.
Iron is gone. Good.
It's
Probably
all in
safer.
Korean, but even if I can't understand what they're saying,
It's
the
good voice
voices
acting.
are perfect for all the characters. Especially my beloved Chesed. Oh, I love him so much.
보자. 사회의 층이라.
God damn! I have no idea what he's saying. I could probably read the translation, but I'm going to ignore that. Have you heard her voice and you're like, I'm freaking jealous? Right now, I'm just jealous.
담당지. 이건 커피 냄새인가?
안녕 롤랑.
Oh, he's doing one of those coffees. Maybe I just have bad experiences. They always leak. Are those all coffees behind him? Hot damn. Love the background too, where it's like ship mast coming out of a ship that's turning into sideways buildings.
우선 여기 편하게 앉아서 커피라도 마시고 있어.
안녕 헤세드. 굉장히 살갑게 대해주니 고마운 걸.
사소들끼리 힘내야 하지 않겠어?
They speak with really good inflection and emotion. I just wish that I could understand a single
Yeah. Yeah.
word. I would love to talk about the story in incredible detail, but I really need to convince you to play this game, so I'll stop there. The story for this game is pretty fucking complicated, but the gameplay is even more so.
Oh?
In fact, I highly recommend that you take a break from watching this video in order to attend a high-level college for 4 to 6 years in order to get a degree in medical sciences before continuing.
Okay, so I saw how difficult the management sim in Lobotomy Corporation was. It's one of the reasons that I have absolutely no compulsion to play whatsoever. But I heard this game is basically like the Granularity and Limbus Company, but with way more aspects. I'm assuming saying way more might be an understatement. Just how bad or big does it get?
Past this point, I will simply assume that you have either taken my advice and are now a genius, or you're incredibly lazy. Both are honestly fine.
I mean, we all know exactly which one I'm here for. The lazy one. And I stand by it.
Don't judge here. For each fight in the story, you need books. These books will entice the next group
Tom
of
Mary-
people
oh,
in the
no.
story to visit the library, and it's how the story expands. For example, a group of fixers known as the Molar Office hear of the library after another
Oh! Oh! See, I only know about them from some of the characters in Limbus, and they have some amazing egos.
fixer group disappears into it. They take a warp train, a super fast method of travel, but get stuck within, forcing them to use an invitation to teleport to the library.
Oh.
The Gaze office, who were monitoring the train, trying to steal a
Okay. gaze, fixers, and yeah, you can see the robotization here. Dude. And according to everyone in the chat, it's not so much a difficulty spike as more vertical, you're just going to do it.
Its technology notice this, sending them into the library searching for answers. Meanwhile, the people on the train witness the fixers disappear and begin to go insane, slowly forming Love Town.
Oh! So Love Town is literally made by people witnessing the library. Or people dropping the library. It literally was created from this. Yeah, I could have not learned about that and been perfectly happy. Also, you see how this eye is missing and it's down here instead.
Which are then sent to invade the library, and so on and so forth. I mean, that's cool and all, but what happens when they enter the library? Well, that's where your librarians come in. The library has a bunch of floors, each with a head librarian that specializes in a certain topic. They are used to fight off these visitors. You select...
Huh. It's like we have a bunch of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And they are very... Yeah. It's not like we saw this as a premise from the previous game.
what floor you want to use, and you're thrown onto a stage. Are you ready for a mechanic dump? Because this game is absurdly complicated, and we're just starting combat.
Oh no.
First things first, each character has a few features. Their health, which is self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Their stagger, which upon hitting 0 increases all damage dealt to them and forces them to skip their next turn.
I know those mechanics. I hate them because I can't remember how to follow up the stagger mechanic. It's just like, oh, am I alive now? No, shit.
And their light, which is basically like mana.
Each floor plays
A
differently.
bit regenerates every turn, and more powerful cards cost more light to use.
Oh.
At the beginning of each turn, or act
Guess
as
that's
it's called in
similar
the
to
game, every character will roll a certain number of speed dice. For simplicity, we'll say that all these characters have 1 each, but I'll explain in a bit on how to get more. The higher the number rolled on the speed die, the higher you are in the turn order. Once speed dice are rolled, you can select 1 combat page for each slot, as well as a target for that action.
Wait, did that say bite off? So we have Rat's Guide to Surviving, Dirty Blow, Backstreet Dash, bite off! Okay, sure. Oh, and Mom's Bread Stagger is different in Limbus? Yeah, I kind of assumed.
For that action. Combat pages are composed of 2 main things, the light cost and a series of actions. These actions are split into 2 groups, attack and defense. There are 3 types of attacks, being pierce, blunt, and slash, which deal bonus damage depending on your target's resistances.
Oh, so this is actually... So this must be where they came for the concepts. I do see how Limbus does feel more like a sequel to Ruina more than Lobotomy Corporation, even though it's very much themed for both.
Kind of like Pokemon. Defensive dice only have 2 types, but while all attack dice simply deal their damage, defensive dice vary wildly in what they do. Their 2 types are block or evade, and I'm about to explain.
I just realized I'm taking more information on how to play Limbus based on the previous game because it's actually explaining things that Limbus itself has not touched on. But I think I have heard people mention are the case. This is surprisingly helpful, and I wasn't expecting it to be helpful. But I'm not complaining because it's kind of actually useful.
Explain just what the fuck that actually means. After pages are selected, the battle phase begins, and each unit will use their action on their target, rolling dice equal to the values on the card.
Oh, the eyes.
But when 2 characters use a combat page on each other, a clash begins, which is the meat and potatoes of the combat system.
That sounds
When
familiar.
a clash occurs, dice are rolled against each other, and a variety of things can happen depending on what dice clash. For example, if 2 attack dice clash, they both roll and the higher number deals that much damage to the loser.
Yeah.
If 2 block dice, or a block and an evade dice, are rolled against each other, the winner deals some stagger damage to the enemy or recovers some stagger resistance. However, if an attack die is rolled against a defense die and the attacker wins, the attacker deals damage equal to their roll minus the defense roll. If
Interesting. Also, Crocmatic. Adding fuel to your Nero Limbus addiction. Nero sang a song from Limbus soundtrack. In Hell We Live Lament. Oh, isn't that the ending of the first chapter? Sounds familiar. That actually sounds kind of awesome. Huh.
the defender wins, the attacker takes stagger damage instead. If an attack wins against an evade, the evader takes all of that damage, but if the evader wins, the attack is completely negated.
So in other words, defense is more steady, but you just take damage regardless, where evade can avoid everything, but also could have higher cost of not avoiding anything. Oh, it's the prolong intro song? Oh, I see. Interesting. Might have to listen to that one later.
Now, if you listen to all that and thought to yourself, holy fuck, this man has rampant paranoid schizophrenia, I have bad news, because that's just the basic gameplay loop.
What?
You see, the mechanics of this game can be a bit hard to handle. Someone who isn't familiar with turn-based games or card battlers will probably be very confused by this system when they start playing. Which means there probably aren't any of them still watching because they all killed themselves during the last paragraph.
Oh, God.
Without explaining every mechanic like intercepting attacks or all of the status effects, just know that it gets a lot more complex, with some of the late game boss fights taking upwards of 30 minutes because they have so many abilities and stages.
A 30-minute boss battle just to account for stages and abilities. Oh, wow. I've never thought I would need a save button mid-fight, but that sounds like you need a save button mid-fight.
All that would just take too long to talk about, so let's move on instead. Every unit in your entire library has a
I just put a random Charizard in there. Oh, I see that one. Well played. Here, I'll just move out of the way a bit. Yeah, that's a nice edit.
deck of 9 combat pages. These pages are obtained through opening
Reload.
Hearthstone packs that guests you defeat turn into,
And you
and
put the
contain
Hearthstone in
2
there.
types of cards of varying rarities.
Yoink.
First are combat pages, which in order of rarity can be paperback, hardcover, limited, and object d'art.
Is it the... Oh, it's probably based on color and numbers, so their better ones are higher. And it's themed around books. For paperbacks, the lowest one. Yeah.
Or if you hate thinking like I do, you can just call them the Hearthstone rarities of common, rare, epic, and...
Whoa, legendary!
You can have a maximum of 3 copies of any
Okay, I'm going to be completely honest. I think I tried Hearthstone once and never finished the first game because I got bored, so I'm not the person who's going to understand any of that.
one card in a unit's deck, except for legendaries, which you
What
can
about
only have
Charizard?
1 copy of per deck. Typically,
Oh.
as cards get
Oh, so legendaries are not what you just stack up on. Oh. See, I'm used to most games where the ultimate goal is to get all of the legendary cards because nothing else matters. But if you're intentionally limited to only one, that is an interesting mechanic in its own right.
more rare, they'll generally get better, with legendaries being incredibly powerful. Similarly, the other card type you can get in packs have the same rarities, and these are called key pages. Key
Oh.
pages are equipped separately from your deck and provide passive bonuses like making certain types of attacks deal more damage or adding status effects to attacks. While your deck is very important to think about and should be carefully crafted to synergize with other librarians on the floor, key pages can often mean the difference between a fight taking 30 tries or one-shotting every enemy on the first attempt.
There's that much variation. So it's not even a matter of you just got this is going to work, and more, you probably have to plan what you know will work. Okay. But 30 attempts versus instant one, that's... See, Kieran in the chat mentioned it's like MTG, but it seems like there's a lot less choices, but a lot more impact from them. So knowing the fight you're about to go into is way more valuable.
Like combat pages, legendary key pages are limited. You
Now they put a Blue Eyes White Dragon in. Okay, yeah, he's got a few of them. Hearthstone, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. When's he going to put a Magic the Gathering card in here? Make it a forest or a mountain.
can only get one of each, period.
Page of Crying
While you can have
Children.
multiple legendary combat pages and put one copy of each in
Okay.
different decks, if you get a legendary key page, you can only use it with one of your librarians. Since
Oh,
the passives
it's
on
per
legendary
character.
pages are so massive, it's almost always beneficial to use as many of these as possible and to build specific decks for those pages. Speaking of pages, you can actually upgrade them. As you progress through the game, your key pages will get more points. Every passive on a key page has a point value, and the better it is, the more that it costs.
So you're leveling up. She mentioned making books more powerful, so you're literally leveling the books. Ugh.
Key pages don't gain additional passives on their own, but if your point limit is high enough, you can use other key pages to add passives to them, essentially letting you build your own class, which is super cool. Also, pro tip, if you want to play the game on easy...
And there's the Magic the Gathering one down there. I just noticed it, yeah. 6/6 for 6 with abilities with trample on its own. Remember when that used to be the most powerful card you can get? Yeah, that ain't the case anymore.
Mode, just use passives on all of your key pages that increase stagger damage. Staggering enemies is by far the most broken thing in the game because, as previously mentioned, not only does drastically increase the damage you deal to an enemy, it also makes them skip their next turn. If you've ever played D&D, you're a nerd. Also, you might have...
He's not wrong. He's very much not wrong.
Have heard of the action economy. Basically, the action economy means that the more moves someone gets, the stronger they are. If you have a level 100 boss dragon that only does one move a turn, odds are a group of 5 that can move twice a turn each can probably beat it pretty easily. The same goes for library, as having more actions than an opponent simply means that you get to whoop their ass, and staggering them makes it feel like the Tsar Bomba is slapping their cheeks.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more. Have you ever wanted to kick someone's ass even fucking harder? Introducing Abnormality and Ego pages.
Pale hands. Many hands float in the bath. They are the hands of the people I once loved. What the? After 3 successful attacks on the same target, deals 3 to 10 bonus stagger damage. Resets upon attacking a different target. Excludes mass attacks. Okay, that is... Yeah, the art is just as fucked up.
Throughout the game, you'll be presented with a series of missions to complete for each floor, and each time...
This might sound weird, but it almost looks like this library is a tree with branches. Golden branches, you could say. And Bantu just mentioning, once again, it is a horror game. Yeah...
time you complete them, you'll have the opportunity to enter the book of an abnormality. The horrifying and powerful SCP-like creatures of Lobotomy Corporation didn't fade into obscurity after all. They're still here, waiting. Each of these battles has a gimmick of some sort, like a condition that you need to fulfill or an ability you need to keep track of, and are a major shakeup to the normal gameplay loop. Upon completion of a suppression like this, you will be awarded with 3 abnormality pages.
Oh.
These pages come in...
So every fight is a way to get stronger then. Okay. That makes it, or at least every group.
And 2 types, and are unique to certain floors, so you should try to build decks on that floor around those pages. The 2 types are Awakening and Breakdown, and during the battle, you'll get them slowly over time. This bar up here at the top represents emotion level, and depending on actions succeeded or failed, each librarian will slowly move it in a certain direction.
Oh?
If the bar is positive, you'll be dealt an Awakening card, and if it's negative, you'll have a Breakdown card.
I'm assuming Awakening is good, Breakdown are bad, but what are the chances there's also breakdowns that have really good things involved? Because that sounds like it would be pretty awesome in its own right. Like a recovery mechanic, although, if I know anything about Project Moon, recovery mechanics seem like something that would be nice, and they don't do nice, except in their real-life gacha policies, which are actually incredibly generous.
These are incredibly powerful effects that usually have significant drawbacks, but can help change the tide of battle significantly. But there's a second use to the emotion gauge that can only be used much later in the game. Ego cards.
Oh, so Ego actually was created here as well. Oh. It does feel like this is just the first real game of the series, where the other one is just a prologue in general.
After completing all of a floor's missions, you'll be presented with a 6-stage boss fight.
2 things. 1, guy looks like Angela. 2, I've seen art of this character with I think Heathcliff's head in Limbus. What the hell?
where you have to defeat every abnormality on that floor. If you succeed, you'll be rewarded with 5 ego cards, and you obtain 1 every time a floor goes up an emotion level from that point on. Ego pages are dealt into...
Wait, are you actually... You're fighting Kali. I don't think you're going to win. Faust head? Oh, it was Faust head. Okay.
to a separate hand that any librarian can access, and are reusable as more emotion is gained throughout the battle.
So, where we have the ego in Limbus Company, here it's just flat out emotion level. Huh. And General Large Chomp mentioned that some of these take 3 hours. That is not a battle. That is a bladder endurance if you're playing this on PC. I mean, you could probably just leave it paused. I don't think it goes in real time, but still. Oh, wow. On that note, though, I do need to cut this one here because I'll finish this next week. Honestly, I meant to stop it a little earlier, but I just got so sucked into it because I'm absolutely addicted to all of this. But there's no way we're going to actually finish everything if I don't stop here. That said, I'm looking forward to this next week. I will say, though, if you haven't already, there's a link below to the original video. 8-Bit Hypocrite, whose name I, for some reason, can never seem to pronounce, is just amazing. But I'm going to leave it there, just finding out that there's more ego and there's so many things going on. And I would love to play this, but I honestly don't know if I ever have 3 hours I can sit down for a single battle at any time, even on my own time. Well, especially on my own time. So I might get the game, I might dabble with it, but I'll probably rely on stories like this, or maybe if there's other people going strictly through the lore with spoilers to find out what's going on. And if that's a thing that exists, I would love to find out, because this looks cool, but this is more like an overview of the game as opposed to this is the storyline, which is a lot of what 8-Bit Hypocrite's previous video about Limbus Corporation, Lobotomy Corporation really got into, even though a lot of that was the prologue you found out throughout the game. Still, though, it's fascinating, man. Basically, what I'm saying is, again, links below the original video. Hit it up. Next week, we'll finish this, and I'll find out just how crazy some of the other things get, because this still gets even crazier. It's going to be awesome. But I'll see you guys then. Adios.